you will have 3 or 4 or 5, depending on the game, close decisions in a given session. The more of those you can get right, the better chance you have for a good score. What does it take to win a duplicate match point section? What percentage game? Anybody know? They did a study several years ago, and they estimated that on average, if you got a 57% game, you have a 50-50 shot at winning your section. I would estimate that most people are dealt at an opportunity of somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 62 or 63% game every session. So if you're only coming back with 51, that means you let 10 or 12 percentage points kind of slip through your fingers. A lot of those can occur on situations such as this, where you simply made an ill-advised judgment about how well your hand fit with partner. You zigged when you should have zagged. You accepted when your hand really wasn't working, or you didn't push when your hand was working, and therefore you found yourself behind the 8 ball. You weren't in game and you should have been, or you were in game and you shouldn't have been. Okay? So, the question comes now, now that we have this useful bit of trivia, okay, I now know that sometimes my cards are working and sometimes my cards aren't working. What do I do with that? That's usually where people break down because I haven't talked about that with partner. Like, you know, my bid shows the singleton partner. Great. How do I just do what's happening? Right? Once you determine that you have wasted value, you should reevaluate your hand. Here is my ready for math lesson. Can everybody count to 40? Yeah. Okay. How many? 40 points in the deck, correct? All right, now for the tough question. You read Charles Gordon's Bridge Complete, I think on page 278, it tells you how many points to take to go to small class. 30, I hear 33? So here, okay, 33, let's use 33. 33 means you can't be missing 2 aces, that's a good sign. And on average, 33 points says that a small plan is maybe a little bit more than a 50-50 proposition. But we've all been in plans where we had 33 or 34 points that like went down real quick. The partner didn't have the right cards, or the cards weren't in the right position. We also know at hands where we had, I don't know, 27 or 28 points that we were in 4 space, certainly, and the dummy comes down and you look, and you think, my God, there's a lot of tricks, and sure enough, you end up with 12 or 13 tricks, but you only had 27 or 28 points. And dummy, partner always, partner always asks, could we have bid it? And the answer is always, no, we only had 28 points. There's no way we could have bid that. I disagree. There are a lot of bridge treatments and conventions out there, splitter bids, others, that show singletons that help you judge the degree of fit with partner's hand. And are my hands working? So let's do some math. If it takes 33 points out of 40 to give us a good shot at making 6, let's say that we're in a trump contract, and we're in a spade contract, as an example, and partner has a singleton diamond. My world tells me that we're not in a 40-point universe anymore, because the king of diamonds and the queen of diamonds and the jack of diamonds are fundamentally wasted. We're only in a 34-point universe, because it's the 10 points in spades and the 10 points in hearts and the 10 points in clubs and the ace of diamonds that really matters, and that adds up to 34. So the question is, how many points out of the working 34 do we need to produce a slam? How many non-wasted, valuable working points out of 34 make a slam? And that magic number is about 28. So if we have 28 points that are all working, and we're not off 2 aces and all the other Blackwood issues, we have a reasonable chance of producing a slam. The math is right there. Okay. Useful points. That's the key. Some quick example. Look at the top of the second column on my notes. I got hand A and hand B. So I want to prove to you what a little bit of difference can make. On hand A, we have a 10-card spade bid, no spade losers. We have the ace-4 of hearts opposite a singleton. We have a singleton diamond opposite 4 small diamonds. And we have the king-third of clubs opposite the ace-queen-third. Let's see. We have 14 points in the left hand, and we have 9 points in the right hand, correct? How many spades can you make? 6. You're going to lose 1 diamond. After fully trump, you can rub 3 diamonds in your hand, and you rub 3 hearts in the dummy, and the ace queen plus. So there you are, and you have only 14 and 9 is 23 coins, and yet you can easily make 6. Now, look at hand B. All I've done is interpose the queen of clubs for the queen of diamonds. Move the queen over to the diamond suit out of the club suit. Same number of 5 heart points, exactly. How many can you make now? 5. But it's all the same. But partner, I had the same number of points. You know, what was the difference? Well, if I knew the partner had a singles of diamonds, I know my queen of diamonds is wasted. So just moving that one little card can make a huge difference. Okay? So now that I've got you addicted to looking for how well your hands fit together with partner, let's talk about a few of the items that will help you identify winning situations exist. So there are a number of treatments and conventions, all very popular ones you should think about adding to your system to help you with this understanding. So what conventions do you play that show partner? I have a trumpet and a singleton. Anybody? Splinter bid. Splinter bid is our great example. There are a bunch of places splinter bids come up. Partner, I have a bid for you in your major, and I have a singleton club. One space has 4 clubs. Splinter bids are great. Splinter bids can be played after transfers. There's a whole bunch of places for splinter bids. What else? Another convention. Jacoby 2-no. 1 spade, 2-no trump. Partner, I have a game 14 raised in spades. Tell me about your hand. Why do you think that those new suit bids at the tree level all show singleton? So that partner's in a better position to judge how well our hands fit together. Any others? Some game tries. Some game tries can be done using short suit game tries instead of long suit game tries. Partner, I'd like to bid the game, but I'm short. I have a singleton club. How well is your hand opposite that? Does your hand go up in value when you know I have a singleton club, or do you have wasted values? So you'll see 3. Now, if you don't play Jacoby 2-no trump, or if you don't play splinter bids, there's more to life. I perused the bookstore back there yesterday, and there are little small books, I don't know, they're $5, $6, that deal with Jacoby 2-no trump, that deal with splinter bids. I encourage you to go back there and find them. If you're a point count addict, anybody here ever read Victor Maloff, that author seems familiar to you? He wrote a whole series of books called Bridges of Menagerie. There's 2 of them still in print. They've got them back there as well. They're really fun reads. But one of the characters in there, Walter the Walrus, is an absolute point count junkie. Oh no, I couldn't bid that plan. We only had 28 high card points. He refuses to get off. And Malo teaches a very good lesson in a fun sort of read. So I encourage you to look at those as well. If you're not reading, if you don't have a bridge book on the side of your bed, I'm embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for you. Everybody ought to have at least 1 bridge book by the side of your bed. You can't live off a Ken Follett forever. You gotta get out there and read the bridge book. Okay? Go online, for God's sake. Okay. Alright. So this information is very valuable to us in other decisions as well. So if the opponents that push you around, the opponents that push you around trying to make a sacrifice, for example, it's a great opportunity to judge how well our hands fit. If you have wasted cards in their suit, it's probably not right to push on, but more likely right to defend. You can decide whether you want to double or not, that's up to you.